Hi, everybody. Welcome back to What They Don't Say. Today, we have part 2 of the episode that we recorded with Zoe. If you didn't listen to part 1, part 2 might not make a whole lot of sense. So go back, listen to episode 25 from last week before listening to this episode. Now, we left off with Zoe talking about how her experiences with sexual assault and molestation have impacted her ability to receive oral sex, which, considering she's a queer woman and does have sex with women, that can cause some obstacles and challenges in the bedroom. She also discussed, what it looks like to reclaim certain pieces of your assault versus accept, and how you can reclaim certain pieces, and there's other areas after being assaulted that you might just have to accept. So that's where we left off last week. On this week's episode, we're going to dive into what it looks like to fawn as a trauma response while you're being assaulted versus fight, flight, or freeze, and also discuss what happens when you are the person that brings an assailant into someone else's life without really realizing it. How do you deal with that guilt? With all that being said, we're just going to dive right into part 2 with Zoe. I realized we didn't really get to this fawn piece of things.
Yeah.
So this is something that Zoe had introduced me to last week.
My therapist introduced it to
me.
Me.
But your therapist introduced it to you. You introduced it to me.
Pop off, non-binary queen.
We are always talking about fight, flight, freeze. As trauma responses, you run away from the situation, you freeze in that situation, you don't know what to do, so you just are still, you fight back. But Zoe introduced me to this concept of fawning. You're going to do a lot better of a job explaining this to everyone than I am, but this was really big. I don't necessarily know if I've fawned in my life, but I think a lot of people are going to.
I have. Let me tell you about it. I have.
Yeah, tell us about fawning. What does it mean?
My first assault, I did freeze. I was 7. It was shocking. I did not fight. I did not run. I just simply stood there, absolutely shocked about what was happening to me at that point. Fawning is where you kind of do whatever you can to make the person happy, basically. That's my very non-clinical, non-educated, personal experience definition of it, and what I did in the second assault. So the way my assault started was this guy was performing oral sex on me without my consent, and I was like, what is happening right now? And I think I did freeze for a minute. That caught me off guard. I mean, hello, you're laying there watching a movie with someone, suddenly their tongue is on your puss, and you're like, whoa, what is happening to me right now? So, I froze, and he had asked me, should I go get a condom? I didn't answer him. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I just lay there. And he was like, okay. And so he went up, left the room for a minute, and I realized what was happening. I didn't realize I was being assaulted still, but I was like, what's happening? This isn't what I want to be happening, but it's going to happen.
Right.
So I just need to do what I need to do to make it end. I think for him, he probably thought I was maybe into it. I did whatever he asked me to do.
Right.
I took it. I didn't resist. I did what needed to happen so that I could leave.
Right.
That's fawning.
Yeah.
You're performing something you don't want to perform.
Here's the thing is I know that there might be someone out there listening and being like, oh, well, how am I supposed to know that she doesn't want to have sex if she's fawning over me? There's going to be someone who's thinking that.
This man asked for consent and I did not give it.
Right. Straight up. And there should be no, we talked about this in an earlier episode, consent is not an absence of a no. It's an overwhelming amount of a yes. That's enthusiastic consent. Also, you should be checking in with your partner.
You should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not this thing of oh, well, if they're fawning, it's hard for me to understand. No. Talk to them.
You're going to know. Because if you're raping people, chances are you're just raping them and you're raping them. Because quite frankly, I did confront this guy eventually. And I was like, hey, dude, I did not want to have sex with you. And he hysterical cried and said, I know.
That I know? That's wild.
It was crazy. Should have pressed charges.
Were you scared to confront him at all? Or were you just
I was, because at that point I had chosen I wasn't going to press charges. I had a rape kit done, and my school kind of made me. I went to my counselor because I was sad. I was damn, I was raped.
This sucks. So was not on my bingo card this year.
I'm so upset. I was having all this fun sex with all these old men, and now I was raped. God damn it.
It's so fucked.
Just ruined shit. This just ruined my junior year of high school. How am I supposed to take the SAT? And yeah, I went to my counselor and she like made me get a rape kit. I didn't want to press charges.
Okay.
I knew I was so lucky when I was 7. This guy went away for 30 something years.
It's sad that it's called lucky though.
It's really sad. Mm-hmm. But I also knew that I had no evidence. Well, that's not true. Rape kit had evidence. But
he also admitted to it when you talked to him.
He did admit to it, but he admitted to it after I had chosen not to press charges.
Right. And it's not like you're recording
I wasn't like recording
him
it. I just like, he worked at my local grocery store, and so I ran into him.
That's so filthy too. You're just out here trying to buy fruit. And
yeah.
He's like,
I was actually buying like detangling spray for my hair.
And you ran, and then you.
And I ran into him.
Was he like restocking the shelves?
No, he was checking out people. And
ironic.
Right?
Sorry.
I was like, I would like to talk to you for a minute. And he's like, you kind of have to unblock me first. I was like, okay. When are you done with work? So I drove back. He got in my car. And I was like, hey, X, Y, and Z, like I said earlier. And he started like crying. And I just sat there like,
You're like, I'm the one that should be crying.
Am I supposed to say sorry?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I do? Yeah, but he did admit to it. Yeah.
Like, why are they crying? Like, are they crying because is that remorse? But it does. Yeah,
know.
maybe it is, but it doesn't change anything.
I don't know. Then he went and dated my friend. So like,
my God.
I know. High school was wild, guys.
That's so fucked.
I feel like everyone like just had a horrible experience in high school. If
Yeah.
you didn't, like, you're not doing well now. But
Yeah.
sorry, maybe you are.
I know very few people who had really great high school experiences. Like traditionally, it's either friend problems, you're raped, molested, whatever. And also not to mention that everyone is going through puberty all at the same time.
Right.
We're all growing hair in places we didn't expect to grow
Right.
hair. And everyone's horny.
Everyone's horny.
Period. But you ended up dating somebody. So
I did.
So, we've covered a lot of ground in this. Zoe's a fascinating person. But you dated somebody.
I did for like a long time.
You had gone through this experience, right? You had like been really interested in all these older guys.
Yeah.
Kind of going that whole route.
Right.
But then you ended up being with someone who was your own age.
Who was my own age. Who was like actually like a really cool person at my high school. And I was like, whoa, this cool, attractive guy who's like interesting and like in like advanced classes likes me. That was really cool to me. It felt so normal.
Right.
Which, like, what is normal? I felt like I had just, like, such a screwed up history of, like, dating and sex and this, like, very vanilla, normal person who was my age liked me for who I was. And that was a really big deal to me. It was beyond refreshing.
And also because you probably actually liked him.
I did.
And this was the first person who you were vulnerable with.
Yeah.
It wasn't some older guy that you weren't interested in.
Yeah.
It was someone that you not only admired, but you were attracted to, like, genuinely.
Yeah. And, like, we had fun. Like, he would, he wasn't just like, oh, let's go get, like, McDonald's and, like, hang out at my apartment. Like, he was like, let's go, like, take swing dancing lessons and let's go get dinner and let me cook for you and, like, come meet my parents and let's go hiking. And it was a big deal for me at the time. I was 17. This was a really big moment in my life. I think everyone was, like, excited because he was cute. Horrible person.
Can we give him a pseudonym?
Yeah, let's call him Oliver.
So people were overall happy that you were dating Oliver.
Yeah.
And you were happy also because, frankly, who the fuck in high school is doing things like going to swing dance lessons and doing
no one's boyfriend's doing that.
No one's doing that.
No.
Like, barely in college, I found like 2 people that wanted to do cool shit like that in college.
Same.
So you're dating Oliver.
Yeah.
We like Oliver. We're happy with Oliver. You're
were.
doing your swing dancing lessons. You're probably having sex. Sex is great.
Sex was fantastic. And it was the first time like I felt so comfortable with sex. My therapist at the time, because I needed therapy at that point. Actually, I think everyone needs therapy, no matter what point you're at. But I
go to therapy.
really needed therapy at that point. So my therapist suggested to me at that time to like kind of play with like what is safe sex, like have sex with this person and tell them to like stop. Even if you don't want to stop, just like see what happens when someone respects that and gains some like power back. Reclamation, right? Like what can you reclaim? Saying stop and someone respecting that is a really big deal.
I love that piece of advice. Like,
It was great.
I remember you had told this to me several years ago. Yeah, you were like, if you are feeling it's not even unsafe, but I think if you're someone who's had an experience where either you said to stop and they didn't stop, or you were clearly uncomfortable and they didn't stop, or you just froze and they didn't stop,
Or if you're someone who fawns and you don't know how to set your own boundaries,
just say stop in the middle of a safe, or in any sexual experience.
In any sexual experience. I mean, like, of course, you should always, like, consent. But, like, you know, like, if you're someone who's, like, trying to work through trauma and you're having sex and it's good sex and you trust the person, you trust them to stop and respect that, there's so much power in having someone respect that for the first time when you haven't had that respected in a long time. Or just there's been times you haven't had it respected. It's really nice to, like, play with.
Like, prove to yourself, like, your words mean something. And
your words
when you say
mean
stop,
something.
they stop.
Yeah. And the world isn't, like, all evil and out to get you, and, like, not every single person is going to rape you. So, yeah, I mean, this was, like, my first safe person and really, like, first serious relationship for me that was, like, truly serious. Like, I was going to his place for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and, his parents loved me, and it was a really beautiful thing for me. But as we started, like, dating longer, we started having relationship problems that were very bad, and I see that now, but this was the guy who made me feel safe. This was the guy who made me feel appreciated, and he loved me. And so, it was really hard for me to recognize patterns of, like, this very unhealthy stuff. He made a lot of girls really uncomfortable. He gives these, like, really intense hugs.
Yes.
Like, he's hugged you before,
yeah,
right?
I'm not a hugger, and those hugs are...
They're scary.
I only think I got 2.
I feel like you
both.
get, like, a breast reduction. Like, when you hug this man, like, you, like...
a breast reduction type hug. That's wild.
He made people feel really uncomfortable. And so, like, I ignored a lot of that. We at this point, we get into college, and we had been dating for over a year. And we went to our first, like, big college party. For legal purposes, I just was 21.
Yes.
I didn't underage drink. Ever. I don't even know what alcohol is.
Zoe's a lot better about the legal stuff. I'm going to get absolutely destroyed one day. Please don't, whoever. I really have good intentions here. But
she's great intentions. This is not evidence for anything. Anyways,
this is off the record.
It's off the record. We're at this party of our friends, and we're playing drinking games, and I was getting sloppy. I didn't really know. I thought I knew my limits. I don't think I did know my limits. And, afterwards, he's trying to walk me back to my dorm room, and I'm laying on the sidewalk, like, plastered. Like, I remember being like, leave me here. Like, let me just, like, I can sleep here. This is fine. Like, the sidewalk right here, so much better than walking home. It took, like, 30 minutes to walk, like, 10 minutes. Like, I had to pee on the way back. We stopped in a porta potty. And I could tell, like, he was, like, kind of, like, aroused by, like, what was happening to me. Like, me being in this state was, like, a turn on for this guy. We are in the porta potty, I'm peeing, and he's, like, rubbing his dick. Like,
oh, what the fuck?
Well, he's weird,
Yeah.
Weird guy. And so we get back to my dorm room. I blacked out. I passed out. I said goodnight. Like, I was trying to sleep on the sidewalk, okay? I don't even know how I got into my dorm without, like, an RA being like, 911, hello.
Right.
And
hello.
I fully fell asleep. I don't know what happened. And in the morning, I woke up. My roommate had told me she walked in on him having sex with me. I was passed out drunk.
And what did you say to your roommate? Were you like, oh, haha, he's my boyfriend, so it's fine? Or
I think something along those lines.
Right.
Like, it was something like that. Like,
especially if you've been having consensual sex with someone for a year and a half at this point.
It was like a year.
A year?
Like 13 months, 14 months, something like that.
You've had the consensual sex with him. It's been a safe space.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, oh, I did not consent to that.
Yeah.
But your reaction was kind of like, oh.
I think okay. I was like, how dare you? Like, this is my boyfriend. Like, I think I was like, I'm going to talk to him. But, like, thanks for letting me know. But, like, I got this. Yeah. You don't need to worry about me, girl. I'm good.
I'll sleep on the sidewalk.
I'm the one in this healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm doing. So I did confront him. I was like, hey, so, like, my roommate said that you were, like, having sex with me and I was asleep. What's with that?
Yeah.
Did that happen? And he was like, oh, like, I was so drunk. I don't know.
But he probably wasn't.
Evidence would say, from other facts I've gathered throughout the years, that he fully knew what he was doing. And that was a very intentional thing. And even if he was drunk, he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. But then after it, nothing really, like, you just continued on, right?
I did. We continued dating for a long time. And then we broke up.
My first experience meeting him was I walked into our apartment. This is like, I've met Zoe on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, we FaceTimed.
Yeah.
We've discussed how we're going to decorate our living room.
Let me clarify. Him and I were like, we broke up, but it was not a clean break. We were like doing this silly, goofy, like, we're still hooking up, but we're hooking up with other people thing for like a while.
Yeah.
And then I moved in with Shannon.
Yeah. And then we moved in together. Yeah. And my first time meeting Zoe face to face, I walk into our apartment. You know, I'm like wearing a mask. I'm sweaty as fuck, like carrying all this shit up with my mom.
This is like 2020.
Yeah. Like, this is like middle of COVID. And I see Oliver. Wait, that's what we're calling him, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see Oliver sharpening kitchen knives. Like, he's sitting at our kitchen bar area. Yeah. And he's sharpening kitchen knives. And I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch? And then I see Zoe, and you had this like big rainbow bag.
Oh, the IKEA one? My mom was like, you're gay, you need this.
Yeah. But and I just remember thinking like, oh, he's like, you know when you just meet someone and you get like that little weird, like, oh.
Little weird vibe.
But at the same time, I kind of brushed it off because this is a full new experience. Like, this is like my first time moving out of the house. I'm seeing, you know, one of my roommates for the first time. Like, she has to be cool. I have to like her because we're going to live with each other for a year. So I sure fucking hope that we get along.
Right.
And there's this dude who she must be pretty close with, considering that he's here on moving day. That is really not a relevant detail at all. But I just like,
he gives you the heebie-jeebies.
He kind of does give you weird vibes, and you can't tell if it's just like weird vibes because he's
also like, so he's an attractive guy. Like, I don't, you know, he's a horrible human, but he's not unattractive.
Right.
And he's very charismatic. He's intelligent. He's funny. He has 1,000,001 hobbies.
That's the big part too, is I feel like he's very almost artsy.
Very
like,
artsy.
so that kind of weird vibe that I got from him, I just thought, okay, it feels weird, but I think it's just because he's like artsy and has these like interests. And
he has an indie band now, for anyone wondering. Also, if you want to boycott it, let me know.
Okay, we're getting way in the weeds. Anyways, back to this. So your boyfriend assaults you. But you're kind of like, you know, yeah, it's everything.
That was like, what? That was weird.
And then you and Oliver break up, but you're still kind of hooking up. You're doing that like thing where you're moving on, but you're not.
And then we like did have a clean break. He got a girlfriend, and we became really close friends. It's like we were actually homies. I had a boyfriend at that point,
but it was platonic.
It was pretty platonic.
But then again, something happens.
So Shannon was gone. Shannon used to like abandon me. No, I'm
sorry.
No, she just like, I think we all have very, like, my parents got divorced right before I went to college. And so like, I didn't really like have a place to go for the holidays. So I would just hang out in our apartment by myself.
That's so sad.
I had a great time. I'd walk around naked. I would make art.
Make a cocktail.
I'd make a cocktail. I would like watch movies, sit on the floor, do weird yoga. I was so weird back then. Like,
you were definitely naked too. Like, that just
I
makes
was
things
always
weird.
naked. No, our like neighbor like texted Shannon one time and was like, "Can you tell your roommate to shut her blinds?"
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I can't.
So he's just like, I'm just want to be a part of nudist society.
I don't even own curtains in my current apartment. I'm just like, welcome, New York. I hope you like this.
Here are my titties.
Yeah, hope you enjoy. Free show.
Cheers.
Please don't take a picture.
Yeah, actually. But
anyways, so I was alone in our apartment and I was hanging out with Oliver. And, both of us were dating people at this time. He actually was going through a breakup with that girl. They broke up. And he, was like really leeching on to me for that. He was crying and was sad. And I was his friend. And I would think I was his closest friend. And so he would spend a lot of time with me. And this one day we were about to go hang out with his pal. We were all friends and we were going to hang out, and beforehand, I was like, this is late. I'm a grandma. I need to take a nap if we're going to, like, go out at, like, 11 p.m. I'm going to go, like, quickly take a nap. You can hang out on the couch here, and I'll see you in, like, an hour,
Yeah.
I fell asleep and woke up to this man having sex with me, which I caught myself starting to fawn again. There was a second where I was, like, I said to him, like, okay, just finish, I think is what I said.
Right.
And then I caught myself saying that. And I said, get off of me. Leave my apartment. I'm never, ever telling a man to do that ever again. And he knew about my assault from high school. He knew about my assault from when I was 7. He knew about all this stuff. And so I was so angry at him for like making me fawn. Like, I not that he made me, but like I did that. But, you know, I was like, get off of me, get out. I'm never, ever saying anything like this to a man again.
That's so good that you were able to catch yourself. He still was able to assault you.
Yeah.
But that you were actively able to notice the trauma response.
Yeah.
And shift it.
Yeah.
And, oh God, this like makes me feel so gross for so many reasons. Ugh. I just have that feeling.
I know.
It is never okay to assault anybody. But for some reason, when I hear like, yeah, this person, I really entrusted so much of like my information and like I gave them so much vulnerability, and this was the first person that I felt safe with or I trusted, or the first person that you trusted in a big way, right? Mm-hmm. And then when they break that, it's just so astronomical.
Yeah.
And especially someone who not only did you share all of that with them, but you're a person who's just been hurt.
Yeah.
Like you're not a person who's had a perfect life growing up.
No.
And not to say that those people who have perfect lives deserve to be hurt.
No.
But you're someone who's been beaten down, you've been broken.
Right.
There's been so many people who've taken advantage of you.
Right.
And then this one person who's supposed to not, and they do it too.
It's hard. It sucks. It's a different kind of hurt. And he felt bad for what he did.
You think, and he knew what he did.
He knew what he did then. And he bought me flowers. He wrote me a long letter about all these books he was going to read to like educate himself. And
after the fact,
like How to Not Rape 101, something like that.
Which also like,
who wrote that book? This is where like being someone who's been abused a lot, you will take whatever ounce of apology you can get. At least in my experience, you know, him saying, I'm so sorry, I did this, you're right. And I'm going to change who I am as a person. You didn't deserve that, was a really big deal to me. And I felt like he actually wanted to, quote unquote, educate himself on, how not to rape 101. Also, who's writing like these books? Like,
yeah, what?
That's not an actual book, by the way. I'm making up titles here. You shouldn't have to educate yourself on like how to not assault people. You just shouldn't assault people.
Period.
Just piece of advice.
You know, I don't even know how to necessarily transition into this, so we're just going to kind of like raw dog it consensually. This person, Oliver, you know, you would consider at one point in time a friend, a boyfriend, a lover, all of that. Yeah. And we're going to talk about what happens when you bring an assailant into the lives of other people around you. And there can be a lot of guilt with this, especially because it's almost always not on purpose. It's always on accident because you don't realize that this person is an assailant or a serial rapist. Yeah. Or maybe you have noticed it, but like subconsciously you've just shoved it down, or consciously you've shoved it down. Yeah. And there can be an extreme amount of guilt that can come with it, knowing that, fuck, I brought this person into someone else's life. This person hurt that other person, but I was the one who put them there to start with. So we're now like 8 months after this like last assault, and you know, we'd continued to be great friends and really strictly friends. Like I had that boyfriend, and I think it put a bad taste in my mouth, like him doing that kind of stuff to me and assaulting me. And, you know, I think our friendship was kind of beginning to fall apart a little bit at that point too. And I had moved out of our apartment, which honestly, sad day. Sucked. Should have just stayed living together. But I moved into this house with a bunch of girls, and I simultaneously was broken up with by this boyfriend who, he was a good guy. He was very nice. Right? He was so good.
He was so nice.
Just like,
hashtag wish that man the best, honestly. Yeah. Like, showed me how to be treated. So, thanks. He told me to raise my standards. Anyways, so I was going through a breakup. I was moving, and Oliver, was in this transition with moving too. And he had this weird, like, in between with his lease. And he was like, hey, can I crash at your place for a few days? Just like, while I'll be there for you while you're going through this. We can hang out and vibe, I guess. And I was like, sure, great. So he was staying with me we were sharing a bed, but it wasn't like, this is like if Shannon and I shared a bed, and Shannon and I don't touch each other.
No, we don't. We don't hug.
We don't. Like today, I saw Shannon for the first time in like 7 months, and we were like, hey, no touch. Right. and it was the same thing. Like we were in a bed. We were not touching each other. It was so platonic. And we were like watching a movie one night, and he was like, I'll be right back. And he left my room, and he took a really long time to come back. And I was like, this man's taking a shit.
Right. What else would he be doing?
What else would any man be doing ever besides taking shits? If they're taking a long time. What else would they do?
Literally nothing. It's only pooping.
Only pooping, nothing else. And so I didn't think anything of it, you know. A few days later, I went on a cute road trip with my friend, you know, to cope with my breakup and like all this stuff. And I come home. My roommates share with me that he had been living at my house without me there. And he was not supposed to be doing that. Mm-hmm. He was allowed to be there while I was there. He was not supposed to be there
when you were not
when
there.
I was not there. I did not know he was staying in my bedroom at my house without my consent or knowledge. I was kind of pissed because,
as you should be,
what the hell? Why was he at my place?
Mm-hmm.
And I go into work, and he got a job where I was working while I was gone. Like fully got a job where I worked. And I was so mad at him that I just like didn't talk to him the whole time. I think he was bothered by that. Anyways, a couple days later, my roommate came to my room and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. And she basically told me that that night when I thought he was taking a shit, he had gone into her room and he had assaulted her after she'd been drinking. And she was drunk in her room and he came in and assaulted her. And again, while I was gone, he was staying in my bedroom. She like walked in there one time to feed my cat for me. And he was like masturbating on my bed, like knew she was coming in to feed the cat, purposely was doing that, and like continued to like assault her for like a few days. And so at this point, I realized like how much abuse I had endured from this man and how I never caught it. And now I'm hearing someone else speak about it. And I'm like, whoa, so many of these things he did to you, he has done to me. And I brought him into our house. Mm-hmm. I brought him into your life. I introduced you to him. He would not have been in this house if it wasn't for me. You would not have been assaulted had I not said, yeah, you can stay at my house. And even like if he stayed there without my consent, he was still in the house. He had the door code. He stayed with me that one night. And so I felt a tremendous amount of guilt. I was sick to my stomach for weeks, like actually dry heaving. I would miss class. I remember sitting in a field one day, like trying to just get my shit together to go to class, and I couldn't do it.
Because you felt so guilty?
I felt so guilty. I felt so alone. I just lost my best friend. You know, it was genuinely the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, and am still processing. You know, I think it's probably one of the things I talk about the most in therapy. I miss my best friend every day. There, you know, when I got into law school, I wanted to call him. Mm-hmm. When I, you know, learned how to drive stick, I wanted to call him. When I find new music, I know he would like it. And there's so many moments in my life that I want to share with him still, because he was my best friend, and he's a really disgusting and horrible person, but I miss him a lot. And so I was grieving my best friend. I was feeling this guilt of what he had done to someone else. And I was also then processing what he had done to me, because I realized what he had done to me in that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
You miss your best friend, but your best friend's also a rapist. So complicated.
So complicated.
But you stopped being friends with him at that time.
I did.
Now it's done.
I completely stopped being friends with him.
And from this perspective, like, you're able to say it was really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, that was so hard for you.
Yeah.
But you did it, and you did it because it's not tolerated, right?
It's not tolerated. It doesn't matter who your friend is. If you know someone who's actively assaulting people, harassing people, saying things that aren't okay to people, you should stop talking to them. Yeah. Because that person kind of reflects who you are and what you're okay with. And I'm not okay with my friends assaulting people personally.
Right.
So, yeah, I stopped talking to him.
Like, was there any part of you where you thought, maybe I can still have Oliver in my life?
At the time, no. It wasn't even like a question in my head.
Okay.
now I miss him still. Like, I think it's harder now than it was in that moment. Like, it wasn't even a question in my head of like, oh, I should like, you know, completely like cut this guy out of my life. But like, and it's not that I want to bring him back. I just, I miss him. I still miss him.
Right. Because he was there. He was the person that was there for you for so long. Like, it's okay to miss the person that assaulted you.
It is. You know, my therapist always says, thanks, therapist. Our abusers are not one-dimensional people. And they can be really nice and they can be fun. And you can make plans to move to New York with them and then move to New York and then be sad that they're not there with you.
Like, when I think about rapists, a lot of the time, or abusers, I just think, oh, like, horrible people, bad, manipulative. You know, they just want to, like, ruin your life.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, they're people too. And it's not to justify any of their actions, but it's just that there were times where he was genuine and genuinely loving you and genuinely showing you care.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't mean that he didn't rape you.
Yeah. Or my roommate.
Or your roommate.
I mean, even like, think about, like, he was there in my house to comfort me through a breakup. I mean, I was also giving him a place to stay, but he also was like, let's like have fun together. And we did. Like, we were like watching movies, we were drinking, we were chatting. Like, it was like him being there for me while he was assaulting someone. And that's like a really complicated and nuanced thing when you have someone being there, being a friend, and also actively destroying things.
Right.
You know, and like a lot of the stuff, I think, like, I think it's so important to note that, like, I don't feel like I think a lot about any of these assaults at this point in my life. You know, I think as we get more removed from them, we think about them less and less. And our trauma just like becomes different and it changes and it's just less present in our lives and it evolves. And right now I'm so removed from like these people and these places. And it's a really beautiful and wonderful thing. And I think it's not talked about enough, but people will move on from what happened to them. It's not that I obviously haven't forgotten. I know the exact date I was assaulted when I was 7, but you do slowly get a little desensitized to it in the sense that like, it's just not as much like a bad thing that happened to you, but something that happened to you. And my piece of advice to anyone who has been assaulted is just take each day, one day at a time, and eventually you're going to get to the next step.
Snaps for Zoe. Zoe, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
for having me. Oh my gosh, this was so special.
This really was. I feel like I am on our couch sophomore year. I mean, the pink blankets.
Yeah, this blanket.
This bad boy. It's been around for like a really long time.
Since sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It was always on the couch. It's a couch blanket.
It was important that we tried to like pack and shove as much as we could into one episode because, you know, like I was saying at the beginning of this, Zoe has such a diverse set of experiences.
Yeah.
But what I love about you, well, there's so many things I love about you, but one of them is you didn't just like let these things be all of you. Like you have taken so much time and energy to heal, and not only does it make you a knowledgeable person, but it makes you like a much more caring person.
Yeah.
And you're so lovely, but you also like don't take shit from anybody, which I really respect. And
you will not catch me getting assaulted anymore. Watch out, world.
Yes, hopefully. Rare. No, she will bark at you.
I will.
Yeah, so if you guys like today's episode, let us know. Send us an email if you want to see Zoe back on the pod. You know, she has a lot to offer when it comes to talking about law school, and she has a lot of knowledge about many things that I don't understand at all.
I don't really understand them either. I just pretend.
But she has more knowledge. The point is if you want to have her back on, let us know. Send us an email at whattheydon'tsay@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, What They Don't Say Official, or TikTok. All of that will be linked in the description below. We love you guys so much. Thank you to Zoe so much for being here.
Thank you for having
me. You're fucking
me.
awesome. And I hope you guys appreciated this episode as much as I did because this was special.
It was therapy.
Well, we'll catch you guys on the flip side, and cheers.
Cheers.